Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Namaste and welcome to this in-depth dialogue on the sacred connection between Gau Seva, cow service, the legacy of Bhagwan Parashuram, and its relevance in modern times. With us today are two distinguished voices: an art of living expert deeply involved in integrating ancient wisdom into contemporary living, and an officer of the Vedic Dharma Sansthan dedicated to preserving the scriptural heritage of Bharat. Let's begin by understanding the spiritual and ecological relevance of cow service in Kali Yuga. So, what is the deeper significance of Parshuram's incarnation in the context of cow protection and service? Yes, Jayagurudev Parashurama is the sixth incarnation of Lord Vishnu, known for his fierce righteousness and his unwavering commitment to Dharma. While he is often remembered for his warrior aspect, punishing the corrupt Kshatriyas, the subtler layer of his story lies in his role as a protector of sacred traditions, agriculture, and cows. In ancient Bharat, Gau was not merely cattle, it was the embodiment of Dharma, sustenance, and divinity. In fact, Parshuram's lineage as a Brahmin Kshatriya was uniquely suited to uphold both spiritual and social justice. He lived among sages, tended cows, and revitalized Vedic practices. His presence is a symbol that in times of darkness like Kali Yuga, we must return to the roots, Go Seva being one of them. Absolutely, Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji often emphasizes that dharma is not about dogma but about nurturing life. In this light, Gau Seva becomes a powerful tool for both personal purification and societal healing. Bhagwan Parshuram's story reminds us that even divine incarnations took refuge in the lap of Mother Cow. In Kali Yuga, where mental agitation and disease are rampant, the cow becomes a vehicle of spiritual healing. You mentioned cow service being vital in today's Kali Yuga. Can you elaborate on how this relevance manifests practically? Of course, in Kali Yuga, humanity is plagued by asattva or restlessness, disconnection, and imbalance. The simple act of spending time near a cow creates a field of calm. This is not myth, it is measurable. Just like trees release oxygen, cows emit certain bioenergetic frequencies, what we call sattvic waves, that influence the electromagnetic field around us. As was highlighted in the segment, the pure and positive waves of the cow create a special effect on our body and mind. These vibrations can bring down stress levels, regulate emotions, and even improve heart rate variability. Many participants at Art of Living retreat centers have experienced profound calm just by sitting near cows in the Gaushala or cow sanctuary. Vedas mention cows as Aganya, never to be harmed, and Vishwasya Mata, the mother of the universe. Cattle grazing and breeding are not just rural economic activities, they are acts of worship. We are not protecting cows just out of compassion, we are protecting the flow of divine life itself. Today's over industrialization has detached us from these natural harmonies. Hence, reintroducing Gauseva in education, farming, even therapy is a need of the hour. So, what does the line, if we stay with the cow, we can get rid of many diseases, signify scientifically and spiritually? Yes, this is a profound truth hidden in simplicity. Vedic texts describe the cow as a dwelling place of 33 crore deities or Triyashrimishta Koti Devata. Now, someone might argue that it's symbolic, but even if we interpret it scientifically, each of these deities can represent energies, elements, or biochemical pathways in our body. When we are around cows, especially indigenous beasts, the subtle feel around them helps regulate our doshas of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Ancient Ayurvedic practices like cow urine therapy, Panchagavya Chikitsa, and Gomutra Arka are all based on this. And spiritually, when we say 33 crore Devi Devtas reside in the body of the cow, it means she is a living microcosm of the entire cosmos. Just as every nerve in our body is connected to the spine, every energy point in nature is symbolically connected to the cow. Spending time near her isn't just grounding, it's purifying. When someone is emotionally disturbed, just touching the cow's hump or Surya Kunda or gently placing the forehead on her back can result in deep emotional release. It's experiential, not just conceptual. Now, what is the connection between Gau Seva and mental wellness or even spiritual progress? We often say meditation is a journey inward, but even the environment we meditate in impacts the depth of our experience. When participants in Art of Living ashrams meditate near the cow sheds, they report longer states of silence and reduced mental chatter. Why? Because the cow's aura filled with unconditional calmness and non-violence entrains your own nervous system into balance. Your prana aligns with nature's rhythm. Also, Also, in our Shastras, serving the cow is considered equivalent to serving the divine directly. It clears karmic baggage. Cows forgive and nurture without discrimination. This quality subtly transfers into the devotee. One becomes more karunavam or compassionate, more sthitapragya or steady in wisdom. Even young children exposed to Gau Sanskar become less violent and more empathetic. There are modern case studies supporting this transformation. Now, how do we revive these traditions in urban life today, especially for the younger generation? That's a key question. At the Sri Sri Gaushala and other ashram spaces, we are integrating Gau Sanskar into youth programs. The children feed, bathe, and even chant near the cows. It becomes a living classroom of values, respect, patience, and service. Also, hybrid learning models are emerging where students in cities adopt cows virtually, supporting their welfare and even receive monthly updates. The bond forms at a soul level. We also advocate for the inclusion of Gau Vigyan or cow science as a subject in Vedic gurukuls and even mainstream schools. Documentaries, games, even AI driven cow caretaking simulations are being developed. The revival will happen when we stop treating cows as part of the past and start seeing them as our living future. Thank you for such a deeply moving and insightful conversation. We started with Parshuram's tale and have journeyed through science, Shastra, and the soul healing power of Gauseva. To conclude, what would you like to share a final message for our readers? Parshuram taught us that when dharma declines, it must be revived not with hate but with sacred commitment. Serving the cow is serving our roots. In her eyes lies our past and our future. Gurudev says, you belong to the divine, and the cow is one of the closest embodiments of that divine presence in daily life. Even a few minutes spent in her company is a return to yourself. Let us not wait for a crisis. Let us begin Gau Seva as a celebration of life, love, and living in harmony. With deep gratitude, we close this dialogue. May the blessings of Gau Mata Bhagwan Parshuram and the guidance of enlightened masters continue to inspire and elevate us. Jai Gurudev. So, how does cow protection relate to environmental sustainability and ecological balance, especially in the age of climate crisis? That's a beautiful question. Cow based farming, what we call Gau Krishi, is at the heart of sustainable agriculture. When we move away from chemical fertilizers and return to natural inputs like Panchagavya, we restore life to the soil. Gaushala, we use in the at the Art of Living Shri Shri Gaushala, we use cow dung and cow urine not just as manure but also to rejuvenate entire ecosystems. One indigenous cow can support 10 acres of land with her byproducts. That's massive when you compare it to carbon intensive methods. Exactly, Vedas describe cows as Paryavaran Mitra, friends of the environment. Even her breath purifies the air. Her presence in villages keeps the microbial life of the land alive. And let's not forget cow dung as a natural insulator and mosquito repellent. It's not just tradition, it's a biological wisdom. If every village adopts even one indigenous cow, we reduce carbon footprints, cut down on pesticide use, and promote rainwater conservation. What role can Parshuram's life play in today's youth movement, especially with rising frustration, aggression, and moral confusion? Bhagwan Parshuram was not just a warrior, he was a rishi warrior. He stood up when Dharma was crumbling, but never for personal gain. His anger was transformed into action and action into upliftment. Today's youth feel directionless or angry because of lack of grounding. When you engage them in Gau Seva, something shifts. Their aggression softens, their purpose deepens, Krodha turns into Karma Yoga. Gurudev says, channel your energy into service. That's Parshuram's message too. In fact, our youth volunteers, many from tech and finance backgrounds, come to ashram, take a breath work and seva based routine, and then spend time in the Gaushala. It's amazing. Within days, their anxiety melts. They say, sir, this is what we were missing. So, Parshuram is a mirror. He shows us that strength must be married to humility and service to spirit. Now, can you share a real story from Sri Sri Gaushala that illustrates the power of Gau Seva? Yes, one incident comes to mind. A young boy from Mumbai was brought to the ashram because he was deeply depressed and socially withdrawn. His parents had tried everything, therapy, medication, but nothing worked. At Sri Sri Gaushala, he was asked to feed and clean the cows as a simple act of seva. Initially reluctant, but slowly he began forming a connection. He would speak to the cows, sit with them quietly. Within weeks, his posture changed, his eyes lit up. He told us, they listened to me without judgment, no complex therapy, just love and presence. That's the healing power of Gau Seva. We have had terminally ill people spend their last days in the Gaushala by choice, not in hospitals. Why? Because they say, if this is where gods reside, let me be here. Some even showed unexpected improvement. That is the spiritual sanctuary cows offer, not just for the living, but even for the soul in transition. Now, how is the art of living integrating Gau Seva into broader global humanitarian efforts? We are connecting Gau Seva with the global movements, climate resilience, mental wellness, and food security. Through Shri Shri Rural Development Programs, we are setting up cow based natural farming centers in rural India. In tribal areas of Jharkhand, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, farmers are trained in Desi cow based agrotech. We also host international retreat guests at our Gaushala in Bengaluru, where they learn about cow energy and Vedic traditions. Some of them have even started micro Gaushalas in Europe and the Americas. Gurudev is reawakening the world to the living culture of Bharat. The Gaushala is no longer a relic of the past. It's a gateway to the future. What would your call to action for people listening or reading this, and how can they begin? Begin with awareness. Take your children to a Gaushala, feed a cow, sit quietly near her, donate to cow protection, and learn about indigenous breeds. Every step counts. A cow saved is a civilization restored. And remember, you don't need to be in a village, even from cities. You can support projects, adopt a cow virtually, or spread awareness, create community events around Gau Seva. Parashuram didn't wait for approval, he acted from truth, so must we. This has been a deeply spiritual, scientific, and soul nourishing dialogue. We thank you for taking us on this journey from Parshuram's legacy to the practical, life changing power of Gau Seva. In the words of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji, serve the cow not just as an animal but as a divine spark of nature's abundance. In her silence, she teaches us the way back to harmony. Let us walk that path together. Jai Gurudev.